Today I will discuss money and supply of money. First, I will discuss the definition of money. Money is anything which is commonly accepted as a medium of exchange, a measure of value, a store of value, and a standard of deferred payments. Basically, money is a medium of exchange. In barter system, any common medium was not available to purchase the commodity and to sell the commodity. But now, money play as an intermediary role between purchasing the commodity and sell the commodity in the market. It is a measure of value. All type of goods and services can be measured through money. A store of value. Money is a wealth. It can be stored in less area, and also it would be useful for future investment. So it is a store of value. And a standard of deferred payment. The payment of all type of transactions can be made in future. So it is a common definition. It is generally accepted as a medium of exchange, a measure of value, a store of value, and a standard of deferred payments. I will discuss everything now in case of functions of money. First one, money is a medium of exchange. When barter system of exchange was prevailed, at that time any common medium was not available for purchasing the commodity and selling the commodity. But now common medium is money. Money solves the problem of double coincidence of funds. We can purchase any commodity by using money. And also, the same commodity can be sold in the market through money. So, money is the common medium. It is a medium between purchasing the commodity and selling the commodity. Money is a measure of value. All type of goods and services can be measured through money. Any new commodity or old commodity. Any small unit of the commodity and large unit of the commodity. Any type of services also we can avail by using money. Money is a measure of value. The alternate name is unit of account. All types of account, business account, commercial account, trade account can be maintained by using money. All type of transactions can be done by using money. Next function is money is a store of value. Store of value implies store of wealth. Storing wealth has become considerably easy with the introduction of money. Stored wealth is a source for future investment. It is convenient to store value in terms of money because it is generally acceptable. Value of money is relatively stable and storage of money does not need much space. Money is a wealth. We can store it for future use. We can store it for future investment. We can store huge amount of money in a less space. Money is durable one. The value of money is stable one. In comparison to goods, when barter system was prevailed, it was difficult to store the goods. Value of the goods was not stable one. Value of the goods degraded one by passage of time, but it is not happened in case of money. So it is a store of value. In the present time, if it is stored, then it will be useful in future. Next one, standard of deferred payments. All type of payments can be made in future. The payment of present transactions can be made in future. It is possible in case of money. Suppose today, if you purchase a commodity, then the payment of the commodity you can make in future. It is possible. For this reason, money is a standard of deferred payment. Then I am going to discuss different forms of money. First one, fiat money. Money issued according to the order of the government. RBI issued notes and coins. When RBI lending to the government, then government keeps securities. According to the value of the securities, RBI issued notes and circulated. So money, according to the order of the government, is a fiat money. Next one, fiduciary money or bank money or credit money. Money backed up by trust between the payer and the payee. Trust between the payer and the payee. Example, checks and drafts. The payee must have account. The payee must have faith and belief and also trust on payer. And checks and drafts are also called bank money and also called credit money. It is much easier to make payments through checks because it is safe and secure one. It is portable one. The payee deposit the check in his account and the money can transfer from the payer's account to the pay account. Full-bodied money. In case of full-bodied money, the commodity value. It means the value of the commodity is equal to the face value. Is equal to the face value of the rupee or coins. Suppose a 10 rupee coin, face value is 10 and also you measure the commodity value. In case of full-bodied money, the commodity value is equal to the face value. In case of paper money, nowadays more paper money is circulated because it is, you know, it is a more cheaper one to prepare paper notes by the RBI. So in this case, commodity value is less than the face value. Commodity value, value of the paper. Face value, it means it is written over the paper. 100 rupee note, face value is rupees 100, and then you detect the value of the paper. Value of the paper is negligible one. So it is paper money. Then in case of plastic money, through debit and credit cards nowadays, we can purchase goods and services. We can do different types of activities through debit and credit cards, plastic cards. Nowadays, there is no need of money in the pocket. In the pocket, only cards must be there, and it is very safe and secure one. Through cards, we can purchase any type of commodity and also we can avail any type of services. Next one, I will discuss high-powered money. This money is produced by the RBI and the government. It consists of two things: currency held by the public. Currency means notes and coins. All coins issued by the Ministry of Finance. And only 1 rupee note issued by Ministry of Finance. All coins issued by Ministry of Finance and only 1 rupee note issued by Ministry of Finance. And other denomination notes issued by RBI. So currency means it is coins and notes held by the public. And then cash reserves with the banks. Two reserves are there in the commercial banks. You know, it is cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio, and it is called legal reserve ratio. In posturing time, you will know about it. Definitely, I will discuss about the different reserves with the commercial banks. So, high-powered money consists of currency held by the public and cash reserves with the banks. Then, the difference between money and high-powered money. Money, it includes currency held by the public and demand deposits of banks. So, money consists of two things. One is the currency, it is notes and coins held by the public. Another one, demand deposits of the public with the banks. Demand deposit, it is saving account deposit, checkable deposit account. ATM card is available, mobile banking, internet facility, check facility, all facilities available. At any time, the depositor can withdraw money from the bank on demand. I will discuss later on. But in case of high powered money, it includes currency held by the public and cash reserves with the banks. So money consists of two things: currency held by the public and demand deposits of the public with the banks. But in case of high powered money, it is the currency held by the public and cash reserves with the banks. It is the difference between money and high powered money. One question is coming: why do demand deposits call money? It is very popular. For what reason demand deposits call money? Different points are there. Demand deposits, can be due to demand deposits. It can be withdrawn from the bank anytime through ATM. If you are having demand deposits, at any time you can withdraw from the bank, and at any time for 24 hours in a day through ATM. It can be widely accepted as a means of payment through checks. Check facility is available also. Already I told you, demand deposit account, alternate name is saving deposit account. Check facility is available. Through checks also you can make payment. Very safe and secure one. Purchase all type of goods and avail services through debit card facility. So ATM cum debit card issued by the bank to the depositors, and by using debit card we can purchase any type of goods and also avail any type of services. Also transfer to other accounts through mobile banking facility and internet banking facility. Transfer money to other accounts through mobile banking facility and internet banking facility. Immediate money payment service, IMPS, RTGS, real time gross settlement, quick money transfer of State Bank of India. So in different ways we can transfer money. Now so many other it means Paytm is there, and so many other it means apps are there also. Through our debit card we can transfer from our account to accounts. So due to these facilities, actually demand deposit called money. Next one, I will discuss supply of money. Supply of money, you know that supply of money is a stock concept. Stock of money held by the people of a country at a point of time. Stock of money held by the people, not by the commercial banks, not by the RBI, not by the government. It is the money held by the people of a country at a point of time. Money held by the people, not by the government. It means producers of money. Who produce the money? It is government, Ministry of Finance, issued all coins and 1 rupee note. RBI issued and circulate other denomination notes. Commercial banks also create credit. But in case of supply of money, only money held by the people of a country at a point of time. Components not included in money supply. Money supply does not include money creating units or producers of money, that is the government sector and the banking system, because cash balances held by them do not come into actual circulation in the country. Cash balance of the government, cash reserves of the commercial banks, actually these sources of money actually are not circulated in the country. For this reason, these type of components are not included in money supply. Okay, the following are not included in money supply: the amount of currency held by the commercial banks as their cash reserves. Just you remember, two reserves are there in commercial banks. One is cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. Okay, and alternative is legal reserve ratio. In subsequent time you know about it. So how much cash reserve held by the banks, it is not included in money supply. Next one, the stock of gold held with the central bank, because central bank is the custodian of gold. So stock of gold held with the central bank, it is also not included in money supply. Cash held by government in treasury and with central bank, because the account of the government maintained by the central bank. So how much cash of the government available in treasury and with the central bank, it is not included in money supply. Clear? Because actually these type of things are not circulated in the economy. Only money held by the public is included in money supply. Who are producers of money? The government of the country. You know that Ministry of Finance issued all coins and 1 rupee note. And second one, the banking system of the country. And most important, the central bank, apex bank of the country. Central bank issued other denomination notes from rupees 2 to rupees 2000 nowadays. It is the discretionary power of the RBI to denominate different type of notes except 1 rupee note. And also one is commercial banks also create credit. These are the producers of money. Ministry of Finance of the government department, RBI, and creation of credit by commercial banks. Due to this, money circulated in the economy. These are the producers of money. Government of the country and the banking system. Banking system, both central bank and commercial banks. Then measurement of money supply. 4 measurements are there. First one, M1, it is C, DD and OD. C is the currency held by the public. Already I told you, currency it is coins and notes. DD, demand deposits. Demand deposits of the people with the banks. And next one, other deposits. In case of other deposits, demand deposits with RBI of public financial institutions like IDBI. Those type of institutions directly deal with the public. Industrial Development of Bank of India. Demand deposits with RBI of public financial institutions. Demand deposits with RBI of foreign central banks and of foreign governments. Also, foreign central banks and foreign governments, their demand deposits are there. At any time they can withdraw it. They are demand deposits with RBI. Also, it is in other deposits. And demand deposits of international financial institutions like IMF and World Bank. So these are the 3 components of other deposits. Demand deposits of foreign governments and foreign central banks, demand deposits of international financial institutions, and demand deposits of public financial institutions. So is the first component, M1, currency, demand deposits, other deposits. Then M2, it is M1 plus saving deposits with post offices, saving banks. M1 means all components of M1 you consider, and saving deposits with post offices, saving banks. Also, we are making saving deposits in the post offices, so we consider the saving deposits and all the components of first measure M1. Then M3, it is M1, all the components of M1 plus net time deposits. Time deposits, it is fixed deposit. Okay, fixed deposit. For fixed period of time, we deposit money in the banks. Net time deposits with the commercial banks. When you do the fixed deposit, then certain percentage of the fixed deposit kept by the commercial bank as reserves. For this reason, these reserve amount debited but deducted from the time deposit. So for this reason, it is a net time deposit with the commercial banks. M4, it is M3. All the components of M3 plus total deposits with the post, all deposits of post offices you consider other than national saving certificates, NSC. In this case, NSC is not included. NSC is like a bond paper issued by the post office. Suppose NSC, suppose if you invest money on NSC, for example, if you purchase a bond of rupees 10,000, then after 5 years, you will receive around more than 15,000 from the post office. So, except national saving certificate, other deposits with the post offices also included. So, these are the 4 measures of money supply. But for you, standard 12 students, first measure is important one. First measure, all the components, these are the components of money supply. C, DD and OD. So here just you remember M1 and M2 are known as narrow money supply. M3 and M4 are broad money supply. M1 measure is most liquid. Liquid assets means easily convert to cash. M1 measure is most liquid as it can be easily converted into cash. Already I have written. M4 is the least liquid as it cannot be easily converted. It cannot be easily converted into cash. And M3 is the most popular measure of money supply, common measure of money supply, and also called as aggregate monetary resources of the country. Just remember. these things. Then I will discuss components of money supply, a very important question, and many times it is coming in board examination. So already I told you, components means you consider the components of first measure. First measure, it is M1. Components of money supply, you consider currency, notes and coins held by the public. Second one, demand deposits of the people with the commercial banks. Third one, other deposits. Already I have discussed. So in this section, just to try to remember money and money supply, everything I have written in a concise manner. Then in the next class, I will discuss the definition of bank and credit creation. You know that credit creation also, through credit creation also money circulated in the economy. Clear? Thank you. Then another section I will discuss about the bank and credit creation of the commercial banks. Okay, thank you.